On the news tonight, leaders of Delta North Senatorial District pay solidarity visit to former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. State legislature assures commitment to ensure safety of life and property across the state. Experts stress need for media collaboration to advance sustainable development goals. And abroad, Russian new ballistic missiles hit Ukraine. Good evening and welcome to the Delta Television News at 8. I am Ugaga Ekama. The immediate past governor of the state, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has stressed the need for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to prosecute people who write baseless petitions. Senator Okowa stated this while playing host to leaders from the Delta North Senatorial District, led by the state's Deputy Governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, who paid him a solidarity visit in Asaba. Per Botu has details.
The visit attracted seasoned political leaders from Anioma extraction, made up of serving and past political office holders, including some leaders of the state PDP. Speaking, Senator Okowa said anytime the EFCC established that a petition was frivolous, they should go after the authors of such a petition and prosecute and charge them to court if found wanting. He disclosed that most of the allegations levied against him before the EFCC were frivolous and thanked the people of Anioma Nation for the solidarity visit. He said the visit of the Anioma Nation was special to him, adding that he had received leaders of the Urhobo Progress Union UPU, the Christian Association of Nigeria CAN, and the Delta State Traditional Rulers Council, among others, who had come to show solidarity. He noted that some persons have criticized the UPU for visiting him, affirming that it showed that some persons were behind the problem. The former governor said he was not afraid of being probed or investigated by the anti-graft agency, stressing that he went to the government house as a governor with the hope and desire to work for the people, to give his best within the limits of the state resources, and he achieved the best even in very difficult circumstances in his 8 years as governor. Senator Okowa recalled that difficult period within the first 2.5 years of his administration from May 29, 2015 to the end of September 2017, when the entire resources of the state could not pay the salaries of workers. He said the petition that is against him was frivolous, noting that how could a person misappropriate the sum of 1.3 trillion naira?
How can somebody go out there and communicate to the world that somebody misappropriated 1.3 trillion naira and put into the pocket? The question is that do they even know what those figures are? 1.3 trillion? That is a minimum, if you calculate it, goes to about 16 billion on a monthly basis for 96 months. The fire, how do you even get it out? Even if you had it. How do you bring it out on a monthly basis if you even had it? But a very unfortunate incident that is the communication out there. And unfortunately, some uninformed people will tend to believe such.
He said the EFCC had the mandate to investigate anyone, stressing that he had nothing against the EFCC for doing their job and assured that he had peace. The state deputy governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, had told Senator Okowa that the people of Delta North were solidly behind him. Sir Oyeme said the former governor used his office to transform the state, stating that the entire leadership of the normal people came to visit him, being aware of the happenings surrounding him in recent times, noting that they are proud of him.
So we are very, very proud of you, any day, anytime. And we will go with you anywhere. God will always intervene for the just. Oh, yes. Because we know that you are just. You have not done.
The deputy governor said the Okowa administration ensured the even development of the state, describing its development efforts in Asaba and other parts of the state as novel. Former Deputy Governor Sir Benjamin Elwe said it was unfortunate that the people who served the people selflessly were most times prosecuted by those they served. While praying for Senator Okowa, Sir Elwe assured him of the support of the people of Anioma Nation, no matter the situation. The immediate past minority leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Ndudu Elumelu, moved a motion for a vote of confidence to be passed on Senator Ifeanyi Okowa by the people of Anioma Nation and was seconded by the member representing Ndoka West constituency in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Charles Emetulu, and supported by all present at the occasion. I am Pere Botu reporting.
The state government has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring peace and security of residents. Governor Sheriff Obewe stated this at the Delta Online Publishers Forum DOPF 2024 lecture series in Asaba. Henry Unogwa reports.
Governor Ogoriwori, represented by the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Soza, described the theme of the program, Security Challenges, Finding Local Implementable Solutions, as apt, adding that enhanced peace and security had been part of the state government's more agenda. He commended the organizers for the event and lauded security agencies for securing lives and properties of residents. The governor said he was committed to addressing security challenges by deploying the necessary resources to ensure a more secured and peaceful Delta state.
Most recently, this administration donated 31 operational vehicles to the police and other security agencies in the state to strengthen the efficiency and enhance the joint security operations in our domain through our existing security special purpose vehicle, now codenamed Operation Data Sweep. This joint security task force, established on December 10, 2020, as a policy response to rising violent crimes, comprises the Nigerian Army, Police Force, Air Force, Navy, DSS, and Civil Defense.
The first public relations officer, Nigerian Police Force Headquarters, Abuja, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said Nigeria was faced with serious security challenges, especially terrorism, kidnapping, and secessionist activities. He advised communities to understand the concept of policing and integrate traditional leaders into formal security framework that can facilitate peace.
Policing is always localized, and until we get the right concepts and principles or philosophies of community policing, now we're going to get it right. If you don't do it, we'll continue to perambulate. You're not going to get to the promised land.
The chairman on the occasion, Elder Emmanuel Ogidi, expressed satisfaction with the theme of the event, saying the importance of security agencies in the state could not be undermined. He encouraged online media practitioners not to concentrate on politicians only, adding that they should confirm their stories before publication.
Online practitioners, I'm a politician. Don't concentrate too much on us because sometimes they mislead you.
The chairman of the Delta Online Publishers Forum, DOPF, Mr. Emmanuel Enebeli, said insecurity had impacted the nation's economy and promised that the online publishers would collaborate to proffer solutions to the nation's security challenges.
Online publishers, we are at the forefront of shaping public awareness, promoting accountability, and encouraging informed discussions.
The event featured a panel session debate. Tackling the security challenges in the state requires a multifaceted approach. As such, the Delta Online Publishers Forum, DOPF, has decided to organize the 2024 lecture series for Delta TV. I am Henry Onogwa.
The state legislature has assured support to government's budgetary provisions aimed at attracting peace in the state. The State House of Assembly Committee on Peace and Security stated this when it met with state security agencies for their budget defense. Favor Kafo has details.
The committee, headed by the member representing Anyocha South, Honorable Isaac Anwuzia, applauded their budget performance for 2024, urging them to do more in 2025. He said government was passionate about security in the state, hence the budgetary allocation to security. On achievements so far for 2024, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, said in the year under review, the agency has successfully brokered peace in many communal disputes. He assured that with the security architecture already in place, Deltans should be assured of their safety. The Permanent Secretary of the agency, Mr. Chuks Awumye, in an interview appealed to eligible Deltans to take advantage of the ongoing recruitment exercise into the military, as Deltans are not meeting up with 8 allotted quota.
We can appeal to Delta youth. Please go back and start a career in the army, police, the Air Force, and other paramilitary units. I say this because clearly the facts and information available to us that our youth are not looking towards that area, and we don't want a situation where future Delta states would assume that they've been shortchanged in any way in terms of the quota system and the different policies that would make Delta State not appear as if it had met or was unduly deprived of its rightful quota.
The House Committee on Education also met with ministries and boards under its purview. While urging all ministries under education to work in synergy, Chairman House Committee on Education, Honorable Charles Emitulu, said it was not the size of an allotted budget to a ministry that matters, but how well it was utilized.
This level of education, that is primary, secondary, happens to be the most important of all the levels. If you don't have this, you can't go up there. And that is why it is very critical that whatever you are presenting to us today, you should have it in mind. You are the foundation of what Delta becomes tomorrow.
The House Committee on Health has maintained that government was interested in positive outputs from the health sector. The chairman of the committee and member representing Isoko South 2, Honorable Ferguson Owo, said this when the committee met with MDAs under their supervision. Commending the MDAs for a job well done in 2024, he warned against spending outside the stipulated budget. Worried on the shortage of medical staff and lack of medications at hospitals, the majority leader, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, urged hospital managements to look towards correcting it. The Ministries of Housing, Women Affairs, Humanitarian Support Services, Transport, Water Resources, Warri, Uwe and Environs Area Development Agency, Arts and Culture, among other ministries, appeared before their House committees. Favor Okafor, reporting.
Well, the Director General of the State Capital Territory Development Agency, Chief Patrick Uka, has presented his scorecards to the State House of Assembly. Chief Uka gave the scorecard when he led management of the agency to defend its 2025 proposed budget before the House Committee on State Capital Territory Development Agency, with Honorable Emeka Nwobi as chairman of the committee. The Director General appealed for sustained collaboration with other MDGs to achieve more for the State Capital Territory. Chief Uka said following the budgetary allocation of 8 billion naira as the capital budget for the 2024 fiscal year, the agency embarked on many projects between January to date, to include road projects. The DG thanked the committee and pledged the agency's commitment to contribute to the more agenda of the state government. Honorable Benson Obire commended the Director General and his team for a job well done in the Capital Territory and called for a more robust and cordial relationship between the Director General and the committee members. The need for media collaboration in advancing SDGs was the fulcrum of a media parley organized by the Office of the Special Assistant to the Governor on Sustainable Development Goals SDGs in partnership with Delta Broadcasting Service DBS Asaba. The event was held at the DBS Asaba station. Eunice Emeazia reports.
The Special Assistant to the State Governor on Sustainable Development Goals, Lady Diana Ereyitomi Eyo Enoete, said sustainable development is not a one-size-fits-all journey in Delta State, given that each community have their peculiar needs and challenges, hence the need for collaboration with the media. Lady Eyo Enoete said in the age of complex challenges ranging from climate change, inequality, health crisis and economic downturn, the media, as the fourth estate of the realm, could use its storytelling ability to bridge the gap between the ambitious targets of the SDGs and the daily struggle of the people. She noted that the more agenda of the Governor Sheriff Oborowori administration aligned with the SDG goals and called on journalists to think of how best they could contribute their quota towards creating a world where sustainable development becomes a daily consciousness.
At least over 5,000 people across these different initiatives have benefited from the work we've done this year alone. So the media is our greatest ally in doing this, especially in our partnership and creating a voice. So we need to come together, collaborate, tell the stories, amplify the stories, tell the truth to power, but most importantly, tell it wisely.
The General Manager of the Delta Broadcasting Service DBS Asaba, Mrs. Christine Jeb, the media parliaments to play their role in driving the SDGs and the moral agenda of the state government, which are in sync. Mrs. Emetulu said the partnership of the DBS Asaba with the Office of the SA to the Governor on SDG underscored the resolve of the establishment to give ministries, departments and agencies of governance, as well as the private sector, the platform to echo their activities, while also demonstrating the commitment of DBS Asaba to developing contents that promote the SDGs.
I urge us to harness our collective intellectual strength and creativity to reimagine the potential of media as a catalyst for sustainable development. On our part as a media organization, Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, to keep faith with advancing the SDGs in Delta State, we will prioritize programming that highlights sustainable development practices, climate change, environmental conservation, quality education, sustained cities and communities, as well as social equality, while also receiving feedback through our radio and television platforms.
The Director General of the Delta State Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Latimer Oganesiwe, stressed the importance of communication for development, improved partnership with international bodies, and specialized trainings for the media to enable them effectively communicate the SDG goals to the people at the grassroots. Participants described the theme, Advancing the SDG Media in Action, and the sub-theme, Collaborative Storytelling for an Equitable and Resilient Africa, as apt and promised to put the knowledge gained into good use.
They just have only 7 years more before the 2030 agenda will end. So to me, it was a very timely, and it's one that we all should appreciate and collaborate.
And what also beg government to especially fund the office so that this goes, because without funding, this goals may not be achieved. And also the media will have a role to play.
The event featured, among other activities, special session by SDGs experts, Mrs. Augusta Impact, participants' workout session, and a presentation on SDGs projects in communities across the state. Presentation of Certificate of Participation and Recognition as an SDG partner and advocate to the General Manager, DBS Asaba, Mrs. Christian Jobume Emetulu.
We want to give her a certificate of recognition and appreciation as an SDG ambassador and advocate. And this is not just from my office. I think I can make bold to say that this is a UN recognition because I represent that body in the true face of it. Thank you so much, man, and thank you to everyone.
In attendance were the Executive Assistant to the Governor on New Media, Mr. Felix Ofor, the SSA to the Governor on Communications, Mr. Fred Edore, and the Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ, Comrade Churchill Oyowe, as well as some top management staff of the DBS Asaba. The media parley held today has been described as one of its kind and something that is capable of advancing the sustainable development goals in Delta State. And the message is simple. Everyone has a role to play, and the media has taken it up. And they're saying that the sustainable development goals must be achieved in Delta State. Eunice Emeazia reporting.
The world has marked the Global Television Day today, an annual event showcasing the role of television in shaping public opinion, providing information and entertaining the people. Our reporter Mora Isopan went around the Asaba metropolis to sample people's opinion on the impact of television in the society.
Television is a powerful telecommunication medium for transmitting moving images and sound for the purpose of advertising, entertainment, news, and sports, which has an increasing impact on decision-making by bringing world attention to conflicts and threats to peace and security. The respondents said the use of television has both positive and negative effects on our society, noting that television has greatly helped in educating, information dissemination, and entertaining the viewers.
It has impacted the world today positively, greatly, because we are living in a digital age, and the world is a global village now. You know, through television, you get to know what is happening around the world, outside your environment, you know, and you get to learn things you wouldn't have been able to learn if you are relying on the manual or analog system.
Well, television is good, but it has impacted our world in both positive and negative ways. Positive in the sense that it has helped in dissemination of information and communication.
Talk about watching on television is very, very good because it can be educating. It can be educating, pertaining children's education and the rest. They learn a lot.
Positive aspect of television when it comes to companies like this. We're talking of the dissemination of information about the company and the products the company is marketing.
The respondents opined that some people spend productive hours watching television contents, which in turn affects the economy, as well as school children who spend much screen time instead of studying their books, which affects not only their academy but their health, especially the eye, and called on parents and guardians to be mindful of what their kids watch and how it shapes them.
Health-wise, to the screen for too long. It has a way of affecting the eye.
The television also has its own disadvantage, you know, because a lot of people, the time they are supposed to spend in reality, other realities, you know, physical things, you know, the screen time these days have increased. You find out that children who are supposed to be involved in domestic activity, reading their books, and other things, they spend time on visual realities.
They stated that television has now been revolutionized through smartphones, as more people can access television programs on the go. Others recognize that even when more people are switching to smart devices, television has continued to be the single most popular medium of consumption of information worldwide, especially in poorer regions where content consumption is a privilege that has been made accessible through TVs.
Television has somehow been revolutionized through our Android phone and iPhones. Gone are the days whereby until you get home on your TV, you can have access to information. These days, we watch most of the programs on the go.
A key reason for news to be more accessible to all after radio was the increased spread of TV and the World Television Day 2024, with the theme Accessibility, aims to help people remember just that. World Television Day is observed each year on November 21, as proclaimed by the United Nations in 1996. The day celebrates TV's ability to inform and influence global audiences, bridge cultural and social divides, as well as being instrumental in promoting democracy across the globe.
It is certain that the use and impact of television sets in our world today cannot be overemphasized. Television is a mass medium for advertising our goods and services, for information dissemination, for entertainment. For Delta Television News, I am Mora.
The Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's loan request of $2.2 billion to partially finance the 9.7 billion naira budget deficit for the 2024 fiscal year. The approval today followed the presentation of a report by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, Aliyu Amako, during plenary. Presiding over the session, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau commended the committee for its swift action and thorough examination of the loan request. In a letter read during the Senate and House of Representatives plenaries on Tuesday, Tinubu had explained that the loan was integral to his administration's fiscal strategy for the coming year. He further directed the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to expedite his review of the request and present a report within 24 hours. The House of Representatives has asked electricity distribution companies DISCOs to undergo a 500 billion naira recapitalization exercise to strengthen their financial position to discharge their responsibility to consumers. The development followed the adoption of a motion on the need to address the activities of distribution companies in Nigeria. The motion was sponsored by Honorable Ayokunle Isiaka, a member representing the Ifo-Ewekoro Federal Constituency of Ogun State, at plenary on Wednesday. Moving the motion, the lawmaker noted that the recent activities of DISCOs across the country posed a significant threat to the nation's economic stability and the welfare of Nigerians. Honorable Isiaka expressed worry that Nigerians, after paying for electricity meter installations, DISCOs still demand payment for the replacement of the meters in controversial circumstances. Meanwhile, the electricity distribution companies have listed the conditions for accepting the National Assembly's 500 billion naira recapitalization plan for each of the 11 DISCOs nationwide. This is as the distribution companies also said they were not under the control of the House of Representatives, but the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. The House of Representatives on Wednesday mandated electricity distribution companies to undertake a 500 billion naira recapitalization to enhance their financial stability and ensure they can efficiently meet their obligations to the Nigerian public. Governors of the 36 states have pledged to work with the National Assembly to ensure the success of the ongoing efforts by the legislature to amend the 1999 Constitution. The governors expressed their support for the Constitution review exercise after a briefing by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, during a meeting of the Nigeria Governors Forum (NGF) in Abuja. Also, after a briefing by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, the governors also assured of their willingness to work with the federal government on the planned reforms in the education sector. Honorable Kalu, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review, told journalists that the briefing was to bring the governors to speed on what was being done by the legislature in relation to constitution amendment. Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State has reunited 76 minors previously arrested in connection with the alleged #EndBadGovernance protests with their parents. The governor, represented by his chief of staff, Mr. Shehu Sagagi, handed over the minors after they had undergone a week-long rehabilitation at the Muhammadu Buhari Specialist Hospital in Kano. The minors were initially detained in Abuja before their release. Governor Yusuf warned against violent protests, emphasizing that the state government would not tolerate such actions. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has felicitated the former Minister of Defense and renowned pediatrician, Dr. Roland Orisha-Jaffor, on his 80th birth anniversary. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Sir Festus Ahon, Governor Oborevwori described Dr. Orisha-Jaffor's sterling leadership qualities as worthy of emulation. The governor commended the former minister for his calm and peaceful approach to politics, describing him as a great leader and true patriot. He said Dr. Orisha-Jaffor, a former Deputy National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), as an exemplary leader and role model through personal sacrifice, adding that Dr. Orisha-Jaffor has contributed immensely to the party's consistent successes in the state since 1999. Governor Oborevwori reaffirmed that Dr. Orisha-Jaffor's legacy as a detribalized Nigerian and respected leader was cemented by numerous testimonies of his remarkable accomplishments and significant contributions to nation building. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has approved the year 2024 Bursary Award to students of Delta State origin in higher institutions across the country. The Executive Secretary of the Delta State Bursary and Scholarship Board, Dr. Godfrey Enito, in a statement said qualified students of Delta State origin in public and private universities, polytechnics, monotechnics, colleges of education, schools of nursing science, and other tertiary schools, including military and paramilitary institutions, who applied for the 2024 bursary award would benefit from the scheme. He said a total of 32,028 students of Delta State origin are expected to benefit from the 2024 Students Specialist Assistance Scheme Bursary Award in Nigerian tertiary institutions. According to him, the uncommon gesture by Governor Oberewere should be applauded as it demonstrates his magnanimity and goodwill towards the well-being of Delta State students and youths in general. Dr. Enito noted that gesture also underscores the governor's commitment towards educational advancement through financial assistance to students in diverse forms and through massive infrastructural development in schools across Delta State. He urged beneficiaries of the state's financial assistance schemes to continue to be worthy ambassadors of the state wherever they find themselves. Still to come on the news, Russian new ballistic missiles hit Ukraine. Details of this and more coming up shortly.
It's the Glow Festival of Joy, and it's spreading exciting prizes. Oh, for 120 days, we take it to the max. Mind-blowing, loaded prizes. Take John, winning a tear rubber Toyota Prado by recharging up to 100,000 naira. And Sister T, winning a Cha-Cha Kia Picanto by recharging up to 50,000 naira.
Yes, the gifts are unloading joy all over Nigeria.
From Toyota Prados to Kia Picantos, Keke Napes, generators, sewing machines, and even grinder machines. Just dial *611#, choose your prizes, recharge the value for the month, and you too can win. Whoa, you too can win, oh!
This is the story of how TomTom gave me confidence.
You left so many words unsaid.
How will I face this crowd? With TomTom, no Lily. Let's do this.
Stay confident and stay focused. Breathe for it with TomTom.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the news. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said Russia hit Ukraine with a new intermediate-range ballistic missile days after Kyiv used Western-supplied weapons to strike inside Russia. In an address to the nation, the Russian president said the strike was in response to the Ukraine's use of American and British long-range weaponry. It happened after Vladimir Zelensky said Ukraine was attacked with a new Russian rocket, which is suggested had the characteristics of an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM. It was unclear what was damaged in the attack, as Ukraine said it was targeting infrastructure in the eastern city of Dnipro. The city was rocked by explosions for 3 hours this morning. Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has warned Nigerians about the availability and sales of substandard and registered sugar products. The Director of Corporate Affairs of the Commission, Mr. Odanje Jago, said that most of the products were smuggled brands from Brazil such as Guapo, Moreno, Terus, RSRS, Joa, Avien, and Arapara Oneja. He said the product failed to meet mandatory vitamin A fortification requirements, posing serious health risk to consumers. He cautioned the importers of the substandard product to deviate from engaging in price manipulation to the detriment of genuine producers and consumers. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited (NNPCL) says it has commenced sales of its latest crude oil grade, the Utapet crude oil blend, to international refiners 6 months after it began exploration. It said the development was a major boost for Nigeria's crude oil production, revenue generation, and economic growth efforts. A statement signed by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer NNPC, Mr. Lufemi Sune, today in Abuja, stated that the new product was unveiled before the European crude oil marketers at the ongoing Argus European Crude Conference in London, England. It will be recalled that in July 2024, the NNPCL and its partners, the Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited, introduced the Utapet crude oil blend following the lifting of the first cargo of 950,000 barrels headed for Spain. The Utapet crude oil blend, similar to the Nembe crude oil grade, has a low sulfur content of 0.0655% and a low carbon footprint due to flare gas elimination, fitting perfectly into the required specifications of major European buyers. The Managing Director, NNPC E&P Limited, Nicholas Foucault, in his address described the introduction of the Utapet crude oil blend into the market as a significant milestone for Nigeria's crude oil exports to the global energy markets.
Is the thought for the day. Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shades will fall behind you. To end the news, here again are the main points. The immediate past governor of the state, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, has stressed the need for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to prosecute people who write baseless petitions. Senator Okowa stated this while playing host to leaders from the Delta North Senatorial District, led by the state's Deputy Governor, Samonde Oyeme, who paid him a solidarity visit in Asaba. The state legislature has assured support to government's budgetary provisions aimed at attracting peace in the state. The State House of Assembly Committee on Peace and Security stated this when it met with the state security agencies for their budget defense. The need for media collaboration in advancing the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) was the fulcrum of a media parley organized by the Office of the Special Assistant to the Governor on Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) in partnership with Delta Broadcasting Service (DBS) Asaba. And abroad, Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia hit Ukraine with a new intermediate-range ballistic missile days after Kyiv used Western-supplied weapons to strike inside Russia. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ogaga Ekama. Good evening.